Okay, so you sent over Psalm 53, and
Yeah.
right away, just glancing at it, a few things jumped out at me.
Okay.
It says, for the choir director, a meditation, a psalm of David.
Right.
And then underneath that, in the New Living Translation, it's got this, according to Mahalath, a maskil.
Interesting.
And I was looking around a little bit to see what scholars think about what that means. And
Right.
I mean, it seems like it could be something about the musical style, or maybe it signals like a certain type of poem, like a contemplative poem.
Right.
But, those are kind of interesting side notes. But
Yeah.
what we really want to dive into today is the heart of this short psalm.
Yeah.
Like, what's the central message here? And are there any surprises in there for us?
Definitely. Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think one of the things that's so interesting about the psalm is just how direct it is right from the beginning.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That opening line, only fools say in their hearts, there is no God.
Right.
That's a really strong statement.
Yeah.
And then it immediately connects that inner thought to outward actions.
Yeah.
It says, they are corrupt and their actions are evil. Not one of them does good.
It's like they're tied together.
Exactly. It's like this direct link between what's going on in someone's heart and how they're living their life.
Yeah, and then in verse 2, it's like we get this shift in perspective. We see God looking down
Oh, right.
from heaven on the entire human race.
Yeah.
And it's not just a casual glance or anything. It says
Yeah.
he's looking to see if anyone is truly wise, if anyone seeks God.
That's a powerful image.
Yeah, it's like this huge divine assessment of all of humanity.
Yeah, it really emphasizes the scope of it.
So
God's looking at everyone and evaluating their intentions.
So what's the verdict?
Well, according to verse 3, the results are just as sweeping as that initial scan.
Oh, wow.
But no, all have turned away. All have become corrupt.
Everyone.
Yeah, there's no one who's exempt from this. Actually, there's a footnote in the NLT about that word corrupt.
Oh, really?
It mentions that some Greek translations use the word useless instead.
Interesting.
So it offers a slightly different way of understanding that universal failure.
So maybe not morally corrupt, but just sort of.
Right. It could be more about their inability to fulfill their purpose or something like that.
That's interesting.
And then it goes on to echo Romans 3:12. No one does good, not a single one. It really hammers home this idea that humanity has completely fallen short.
So having established that everyone's messed up, basically,
Right.
what happens next?
Well, verse 4 asks a really direct question.
Okay.
It says, will those who do evil never learn?
Huh.
It almost sounds like there's a sense of disbelief there, right?
Yeah, like, come on, people.
Exactly. And then we get this really vivid metaphor, they eat up my people like bread,
Oh, wow.
which highlights just how destructive their actions are.
It's like they're consuming them.
Exactly. And then there's this telling detail. It says they wouldn't think of praying to God,
Yeah.
which shows just how completely disconnected they are.
So up to this point, it's been a lot of observation and description.
Right.
But then in verse 5, it feels like things shift a bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a change in tone. It becomes more about future consequences.
Okay.
It says terror will grip them. Terror like they have never known before.
Huh. So it's like a prediction of what's coming.
Exactly. It moves from observation to this kind of divine judgment.
I see.
And there's that very striking image that God will scatter the bones of your enemies,
Wow.
which leads to shame and rejection. It's a pretty stark picture.
It is. But then the psalm ends on a very different note in verse 6.
Yeah.
Right, it says, who will come from Mount Zion to rescue Israel?
Right.
So it introduces this idea of rescue and restoration.
And the reaction to that is pure joy.
It says, when God restores his people, Jacob will shout with joy, and Israel will rejoice.
Yeah, it's this beautiful image of hope and celebration.
It's like this huge swing from condemnation to ultimate hope.
Exactly. It's a complete narrative arc packed into just 6 verses.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about how that applies to the world today.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's the literal denial of God, but what other kinds of folly are we surrounded by? Like actions that disregard basic human decency or things that hurt society as a whole.
Right.
And even if we think beyond a religious context, what would it look like for things to be made right in those areas?
Yeah. What would true restoration look like?
It definitely gives you a lot to ponder.
It does.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
My pleasure.
It's been really insightful.
I agree.
I hope everyone listening got something out of it too. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.
All right.
Take care.
You too.